Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we are playing a mono blue tempo deck that you can build for a few $100s, super cheap, but it has a lot of synergy. It is Legacy power level with powerful cards like Daze, Wasteland, Force of Will, but it's like a modern deck in the sense that it's got Astrologian's Planisphere, Murktide as your threats, Storm Chaser's talent, and these cards synergize with this new card from the Avatar set, perhaps the best card in the set. That is Boomerang Basics. 1 blue mana for a sorcery. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If you controlled that permanent, draw a card. So this synergizes very well with Storm Chaser's talent, which when you play it, you get a token. And so you just bounce the enchantment back to your hand. And then you replay it and you get a second token. Very cool. And you're drawing a card in the process. You can also do that with Astrologian's Planisphere. This creature has a nasty habit of getting killed when it's like a 5/5 or something. Well, you still have the Planisphere and you can just Boomerang Basics back and replay it and get the living weapon trigger again, or job select, as they call it in this weird Final Fantasy Universes Beyond thing. So this deck is a pure tempo deck, 18 lands, all basics, except we have the 4 Wastelands, and we're going to make heavy use of Daze. And we're going to eventually end them with a Murktide or a Tamio. These other threats are just there to kind of distract, but the real finisher is Murktide and Tamio. And then in the sideboard, we've got respect for Eldrazi / 12 Post / Karnforge. We have 4 Hydroblasts if we go up against red decks because we're really hard up for removal in black or in blue. We only have Dismember as our sole removal card, but we also have Piracy Charm to take out Bowmasters, and we've got the 4 Force Negations. So this deck is soft to Chalice. It's soft to Bowmasters. We're going to hope to dodge those matchups, but we actually can win in those matchups if we play correctly. See you in round 1. Round 1, we're up against Flank Attack 27. Oh no, my flank. Fan of the channel. Likely on lands. This is we don't really have to worry too much about lands, actually. I don't like these Boomerang Basics actually are perfect answers to Merit Lage and to Constructs. I'm actually going to keep this. I know it might be weird, but the way that the lands wins, we answer that very handily. Once upon a time. They may be on Depths as well, but Depths dies to Boomerang Basics as well. The main problem is Boomerang Basics, for all its wonder, is not an instant. It is a sorcery. All right, well, my opponent is immediately jamming freaking Allosaurus Shepherd, terrifying card that shuts off all our counter magic. Luckily, we don't have any counter magic. So I think the name of the game, I mean, we could we can't Boomerang Basics at instant speed. Again, that's the problem with Boomerang Basics. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to Storm Chaser talent and get my creature out, and at least we have a chumper to deter some aggression. If they're actually on actual factual elves, it's going to be really weird. But Elves doesn't generally play fetch lands, does it? I don't know, it might. So next turn we have Boomerang Basics and redeploy to get a second dude, and this guy will be 3/3, which will be good. Double forest, and look at the beautiful forest my opponent has chosen. A true green gamer right here. Finhorn Elves, we are up against actual factual elves. Llanowar Elves, love it. Love the aesthetic of Finhorn Elves and Llanowar Elves on the table together in Legacy in 2025. All right, so here, this is just a Boomerang Basics, redeploy, attack. I don't think we get fancy here. This is going to fill up the yard. They may have choke in their board. That's something to note. So it grows. I don't think we're going to successfully aggro them, but I don't think they're going to triple block this. We drew another Storm Chaser talent. Uh-oh. Attack of the Otters. So I'm not missing the counter magic in my hand. I'm actually very glad that we've luckily not drawn it. Korean Ranger. They can produce a lot of mana here, but they can't quite get up to Allosaurus Shepherd levels unless they have a Cradle. If they have Cradle, we're just dead. Fiend Artisan. Interesting. Collector Oof. That doesn't affect our deck at all, except for Tamio Clues. They should attack here. Okay. They didn't want to trade. Well, actually, they shouldn't necessarily attack. So Fiend Artisan is going to grow as things go to the graveyard. Daze is a pretty bad rip. So we could just Boomerang Basics and Storm Chaser talent again, but I am genuinely afraid that they're going to kill us on the crackback here. If I can find a Dismember, that's pretty good. I think I'm going to try to do that. The way to see the most cards here is actually to preordain and then ponder. And I'm just looking for Dismember. And then I can use a Wasteland. Okay, perfect. I don't need this island. I'll just use the blue off this Wasteland. Because I don't have a clean way to put the Wasteland back. So this, sacrifice another creature. So this is really my chance to kill this thing. Ouchie, ouchie. And then I think I just dropped this other Storm Chaser talent. And now we have Days Up, which probably doesn't matter, but my opponent might play into Days at some point. The important thing is they can't just pay 6 mana and then Alpha Strike us now. I'm going to attack. I don't think we're dead on the crackback. And next turn with the cantrips, the Boomerang Basics, and the ability to redeploy and have another chump blocker, I think we can kill them. Unless they, like, we can at least force them to block a bunch of stuff and lose a bunch of material. Okay, they're doing a big mana play here. Is this a green sun? Wait, why are they tapping this? Is this Court of Calling? They're activating. They're getting rid of their Collect Roof. Okay. X equals 3. This could be Endurance if they're worried about Mark, which is a reasonable thing when you're playing a mono green deck. You don't have a lot of removal. Okay, Grist. Grist for the mill. Llanowar Elves. All right, are you going to give me anything on Days? Okay, they are playing around Days. All right, so I'm just going to ignore Grist and go face with everything. All right, so let's think about this. If we found an island, we could actually do even more damage here. I wouldn't mind finding a Dismember, but what would I dismember? I dismember probably one of their blockers, like this Quirion Ranger. Untap target creature. Oh, they could untap a creature if they want to bounce a force to hand. Let's think about this. What I'm trying to do is make them, have to lose a lot of creatures in the block. I think the simple thing to do would be kick off with a Boomerang Basics. We're definitely going to want to do that anyway, and that'll draw us a card. All right, there's the Dismember. That takes us pretty low, though. Let's think about this. I think this is worth killing. If we kill this, we'll be at 10. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 power. Plus, I mean, they're probably going to lose something on the process, too. This is the scariest card on their table right now. If I were to find another Boomerang Basics, I could just get this out of here and then definitely kill Grist, which would be nice. It's really a question of, like, do I want to try to kill them or... Because it's not necessarily a force block. They could just go really low here. All right, I think I'm going to ponder and see if I can find well, I'll preordain first. If I find an island, that's great. I guess ponder would technically give me an additional look. All right, I'm going to put both of these on the bottom. Okay, we did it. That's great. All right. Now, we just dismember... I can dismember this and then attack this to death. And then, like, am I going to die to Fiend Artisan on the crackback? So they'll have, they're almost certainly going to block with these two. And then Fiend Artisan, or they might just let it die. Huh. But I can have a chumper here. I think that's correct. I'll play this out. I'll get a chumper. The main problem is if Grist survives, they get to make another dude. They can return and untap this, but that's not a very good blocker because it'll trade. But it'll actually be a 4/4. My instinct is just to go ahead and kill the Fiend Artisan and then attack them with all these, and they'll have to block at least one of them. Then I have one blocker back. I'm going to attack all of them. I'm just trying to reduce their material. Like, this is basically like a... Yeah, that was like an easy block. Okay, and they're going to let one through, it looks like. How does this work? Number of creature cards in your graveyard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a -5. They can't do it yet. Okay, good. Good. All right. This is an intense fair on fair. So they are creating another dude, and now they can one-shot me, so I have to break through all this. They scooped. All right. Wow. That felt great. Beating Elves. Fair and square. We got to demonstrate the power of Boomerang Basics. So Piracy Charm definitely comes in. It is a 1-mana answer to their Elves. Almost all their Elves have 1 toughness. And then I'll take out Forces. No, wait. I'll take out the dazes completely. I think they're terrible here. I'll keep the forces. There's nothing else to bring in, so I'll keep 1 daze. Let's go. All right. This is a Dismember, Force, Hand, Storm Chaser talent. I like it. It's got land. If they have Cradle, I will waste that in a heartbeat. That's the card that I need to kill. They could be playing a second color if they're playing fetches. Okay, they are. This could be Thoughtseize. I'm going to let the Thoughtseize go. Yeah, I'll let it go. They're probably going to take Storm Chaser talent because that's what killed them last game. Then I'll just... I mean, I'm tempted to waste this. Just to waste them off the second color. I don't really have anything else to do here. They know about the days. Yeah, I'm just going to waste them. This may seem like totally silly. But like... Because they have so many 1-drops in their deck. But if they somehow got unlucky and don't have one, we're cooking. Okay, they did have a land. So we're not doing anything. We're just sitting here and reacting. But we're probably going to lose this game anyway. That's fine. I may just dismember just to reduce material. I think Elves, a lot of it is just keeping your opponent low material. Because a lot of the things they do are based on them having, a whole lot of Elves. And so they can alpha strike you with like the Allosaur Shepherd, or they have a critical mass of creatures so they can do stuff with, oh, this is probably a daze. Yeah, they walked right into that. I think that was a misplay. They should have waited. Unless they have Elvish Spirit Guide. Okay, yeah, that was a very easy daze. And I didn't expect to convert that daze. Okay, Preordain is something we can do proactively. I'm going to go and do it. Try to line up an answer. We don't need either of these cards. This is a very good Preordain. See what we draw. Okay, Piracy Charm. That is a live card that kills probably at least half the creatures in the deck. I'm going to aim it at an Allosaur Shepherd. That's my dream target. Cradle with no lands. This is what I was talking about. Like, Bedroom Cub. It does a lot in this deck. I think we just kill it, and it's one of the few things that doesn't die to my fanciness. I think we pitch the Brainstorm because Boomerang Basics can actually go up a card. I don't know. It's hard. We're definitely countering it. Brainstorm's good if we draw lands, though. It can also find us a Wasteland to deal with one of the 2 non-basics. Okay. Now I feel embarrassed that I chose the Boomerang Basics. Why did I ever doubt you? Boomerang Basics. We'll just chill. We have 3 more Boomerang Basics in the deck. I mean, like, I hope you can empathize with, like, oh, this is a good card. I might be able to find a daze here if I'm super lucky. I'm going to try because I do not want to face this card. It gets really big, and it gets bigger than Dismember can make it, and they can do that very quickly. And it also delays the arrival of our dear friend Murktide. Can we get a daze? I'll take a Force 2. Dismember will to do it. Okay, this is not bad. I'll put back these Piracy Charms. I will draw them, but they're not relevant right now. What's relevant now is I'm going to dismember the heck out of this thing. So let's go ahead and Storm Chaser talent and dismember. And it's worth noting Piracy Charm has the mode of make your opponent discard a card. If I had more mana, I would do that, but I'll do that later. So it's never a dead card, is what I'm saying. Like, even against a deck where there's no creatures, it's quite good. They can exile something real quick if they'd like. Probably just take a sorcery or instant out of my graveyard would be smart. That's what they're doing. All right, let's get the beats going. Hopefully they have a 1-drop that I can kill with Piracy Charm. They have a lot of them. Another Fiend Artisan, and it's huge. All right, yeah, we're not going to win this game, unfortunately. I think we just hold these. So there is an option of, like, let's see, if they attack, just straight up attacked, I could probably double block with Piracy Charm, just make them discard 2 cards. Or give one of them, like, buff one so it has enough power that it can kill. Yeah, if I cast Piracy Charm twice, it could basically be like a 5-1 and block this. So I'm not going to be attacking. Wait, maybe I should have attacked. Yeah, if I did that, then it becomes a 5-1. I mean, I would have to dump my hand. These are removal spells. They have to have a creature to sacrifice. But sacrificing is part of the cost of the ability, so it's not like I can just clear the creature when they put the sacrifice. It's not like Grist. With Grist, they put the ability on. Come on. So if they have endurance, it's pretty bad here. So let me just make sure I do the math right. So this becomes a 2-2, and then it becomes a 4-1, and then we do it a second time. Yeah, so I should be able to just block with 1. The other option is I go to blocks, I double block, and I Piracy Charm them twice to discard the 2 cards in their hand. And that would also produce 6 toughness. I think I'm going to do that. I think that's better because we're getting cards out of their hand at least. All right, we'll see whether this works. I am very new to this card. If they have an instant speed like removal spell, they can use it. First trigger. They discard a Traxa. Okay. Oh no, it grows it. It grows it. So what I need to do is I need to... Yeah, we're going to lose both of these, I think. But if they put another card in the graveyard, we don't kill it. So I have to do this. Okay, yeah, I didn't think things through. So that's a 5-2. So it's definitely dead. So the original line of just losing 1 would have been superior here. But instead I lost 2 like a dum-dum, but I'm learning. Okay. We're not in a good position. Merc would be great. Another Piracy Charm. I'm kind of tempted to just fire it off at them to reduce their hand, but they could discard a land or something. I'm going to wait. Yeah, I'm not happy with how that turned out because I'm dumb. Oh, no. What happened to all the freaking X1 elves? I haven't gotten to kill a single elf. Did they just board them all out? I'm not playing Bowmaster. They had no reason to suspect Piracy Charm of all things. Oh, no. 3 mana. What is this? Oh, they're going to Natural Order. Well, if you're going to Natural Order, I'm going to kill your 1 creature. So you can't Natural Order. Because I can't respond. It's part of the the cost. I guess I could have waited till the next turn. Come on, Merc. Force. Okay, that doesn't do anything. All right, we're probably dead. Okay, Elvish Mystic. And now they can Natural Order next turn. They were tapping black. What do they need black for? Do they have another thing? They've presented so many must-answer threats. Brainstorm, set me free, please. Do I want to just dismember this to take them off? I think that's actually the line, sadly. The other option is I could force the Natural Order, but that's a 2-for-1 as well. Yeah, they Natural Order. They don't have a Traxa in the deck, but they'll probably get something that's good. Like just getting another Fiend Artisan would be pretty devastating because it'll be huge and I won't be able to kill it. They could also go get Grist. So I want to strand that Natural Order in their hand, but I can never really strand it. Like it'll eventually get cast. So I think I take the Boomerang Basics. I just bounce this back to hand. And then I'll dismember next turn. Because unless they have the Allosaurus Shepherd in hand right now, I think we're okay. All right, I'm going to do this. And I'll just immediately redraw with this. And then I'll have Force up. Okay. I can pitch one of these. And then next turn I can dismember something and get another dude and maybe get some damage in on them. But I do want them to go all in on a Natural Order and 2-for-1 themselves. Okay, I was correct. That was the spell they had. So I'll pat myself on the back. All right. I pitched one of them. So we're drawing an unknown card next turn. Is it a devastating threat? Like I'm fine with Keen Eye, but I'm not fine with Fiend Artisan. I can't answer that. I cannot answer this card. It's huge. It's massive. I can Boomerang Basics it. I think we're going to die to this thing. Let's preordain. I mean, I could like double dismember it. No, I would die. And bouncing it back to hand doesn't fundamentally address the underlying problem. Yeah, we're not going to beat this thing ever. Okay. Yeah, we just needed to win a lot earlier in the game, frankly. Okay. So I like Piracy Charm a lot there. Had I not screwed up and had I had the extra body, I might have actually won that game, which this is not a favorable matchup. This is like the favorable matchups are other tempo decks. We prey on other tempo decks. We prey on combo. I'm going to be on the play. I still don't like Daze in this matchup. They just have so much freaking mana. Yeah, let's go ahead and just run it back. Okay. This is like a Tamio and Dirtle hand. Tamio is good against them. I can't keep this. This is fine. So what we're going to try to do is just control things. I'll put back Planisphere and I'm going to stick a Merc because I'll have built up toward Merc. Planisphere, again, showing it like in the previous video, I said that Planisphere is probably a 3 of. It just costs a lot of mana to get it out. But Merc, you cast it, but it doesn't feel like it costs as much mana because it doesn't come in as a 1/1 and just chill for a turn cycle until you can cast stuff. I'm going to keep this. I will put back the Planisphere. All right, and we're just going to Storm Chaser Talent to kick things off. And then we're going to assume that they do have a combo finish in their deck. They have Natural Order for Atraxa. And maybe for Craterhoof as well. Storm Chaser. I would love to Piracy Charm one of their creatures and save Dismember for a bigger creature. Every creature I kill puts a creature in their yard that we will eventually have to... Yeah, I'm not going to daze that. I'm going to Piracy Charm it. I might draw land. Okay, I drew a Storm Chaser Talent. I could just Storm Chaser Talent and attack here, but like they may have kept a hand based on like not... and I've got a daze in my hand, so yeah. So 1 for 1. 1 mana for 1 mana. Let's come in for our hug. And we'll want to draw land, but it's not that big of a deal. Like we have a daze. We can maybe daze a 2-drop here. We only have that 1 daze in our entire deck. I'm not going to daze that. Okay. They've got a slow start. I will take it. Okay, this is great. So what I can do is I'm going to go ahead and fetch. I could go ahead and attack and they might fetch the other creature and then I could dismember and blow it out. It's kind of like fancy. Let's do it. It'll deal 1 less damage, but I'm hoping that they do fetch the... if they have like a Gaia's Cradle in hand, it makes sense to do that and to double block. Okay, so they have chosen not to block. Well, I'm going to go ahead and dismember. And again, I don't like doing this, but I'm also getting 1 less damage this way. But I wanted to try to get them to fetch Dryad Arbor so I could kill both. Because I'm just trying to restrict their mana. All right, we have Murktide coming down next turn, which will be very exciting. Especially if we daze something. And their deck is not known for having a lot of removal. They may have Snuff Out. All right. This is probably the Dryad Arbor if they have the Cradle. Yeah, see, this is what I was talking about. So now if they play the Cradle... Okay, they don't have Cradle. What is this? This makes my days really bad. Oh, no! Oh, no, opponent! You walked into my days. That's going to probably cost the game. I think with the Merc out, we're going to have a lot of pressure. I will just attack with my tokens. I would like to draw a Boomerang. Yeah, but I think Merc is the priority here. Ah, man. I mean, like we can just hit him for 6. Hold the Merc in our hand. We might even draw a Force. But if we play the Merc, we're hitting him for... We're just hitting him for 2. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do the Boomerang Basics thing. What can I say? Like, I'm a sucker for this combo. I'm a value enthusiast. Wasteland is great. We'll not be able to use it this turn. All right. So we get another honor. We're going to come in. We're tempoing them. They could just Natural Order Atraxa next turn. We have no protection, unfortunately. And we'll just lose if that happens. It doesn't look like that's happening. Once upon a time. Okay, great. Land for turn. Okay, what is this? 2 green. Fiend Artisan. That's big. All right. So, options. We just try to make these huge and kill them. I don't think it's actually possible for us to make it big enough. But I am going to go ahead and brainstorm here. Dismember kills this. And I can Boomerang Basics. I'm liking this a lot. Put Planisphere back. Murktide back on top. Dismember. Grow the army. That's lethal. That is freaking lethal. Insane. Insane. They said GG's. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do my value thing. I don't care. I don't care that the game's over. Good games. Holy cow. That was like Dismember was insane. So I genuinely think like people are like, oh, you got to play a second color that has removal. Well, you always have dismember, and we still had 10 life against the aggro deck. Yeah, that was fun. All right, we're in for a treat. We're up against mono black Pox. Most likely. I'm going to snap, keep this hand that we're on the play too, which is great. Planisphere is going to be awesome. We're going to put a lot of permanents into the table. Wasteland will probably be good. I like the fact that we have so many lands. I'm actually not going to fetch here. I generally don't fetch, but like sometimes I'll fetch if like I want to reduce the number of lands I'm going to draw throughout the game. It has a small thinning effect. And a lot of people say, oh, don't fetch the thin. That's a sucker's game. But it does have a small effect in some situations. But when you're playing Brainstorm, you generally shouldn't do that. In this game, I will draw lands because if my opponent is playing cards like Smallpox, that doesn't respect basic lands. Like it'll kill basic lands too. It is an all-opportunity slaughterer of lands. Dark Ritual. How about we don't let you get this mana advantage because we're a tempo deck? I'm going to waste that immediately. After I attack them, of course. I want to restrict their mana. They may have kept a greedy hand. And you may question the logic in doing this, but like that will produce a ton of bodies over the course of the game if we don't get off the table now. Okay, so they get their dude. All right. They're coming in for one. And are they a second main phase hipster with the land? They are. Okay, they've got a beautiful swamp. This is so nice looking. I don't even know what set that's from. But like it looks like some sort of dragon theme set. So nice. All right. So here, I think this is just Planisphere. Oh, wait, we can't Planisphere because we dazed. I am going to attack him for 2. We're just going to get into an attrition. I will go ahead and preordain here. I'm going to keep as many lands as I see. The key to beating Pox generally is keeping lands. Boomerang Basics is quite nice. I'm going to put it on top, and then I'm going to draw the Force now, just in case they have like Dark Ritual into like Liliana or something crazy like that. We definitely don't want to deal with that. That is a sick looking token too. Look at that. That insect has got like the full jetpack treatment. Looks like it's getting ready to be a, fodder unit in Gears of War. Okay, Bowmasters. Let's not say we did. I'm not a fan of the Bowmasters in my cantrip heavy deck. I do want to keep this Planisphere. It will scale. Got Boomerang Basics coming though. I need a second creature though, realistically. Well, I'll get the second creature off Boomerang Basics. I think I am going to pitch the Planisphere. They still have 5 cards in hand. This Mishra's Workshop, or Mishra's Factory rather. Mishra's Workshop is not legal in Legacy, thankfully. Or Karnforge would be even more annoying to play against. Okay. Actually, I'm not even sure if Karnforge would play Mishra's Factory if it were legal in Legacy. Leave a comment with the timestamp if you agree with that statement or if you're like, no, it's definitely worth playing. Okay, so let's go ahead and just get more material on the table here. Boomerang Basics. Draw trigger. I mean, can you imagine how brutal that Bowmasters would have been had it stuck? I'm going to fetch, get an island. We're going to play the second one, and we're going to hit them for 3. They do use their life total as a resource a little bit, and I ripped another Boomerang Basics. So the great thing about Boomerang Basics is it's like an army in a can. I mean, it's insane. I thought this card was pretty mediocre when I play tested it before. I thought this isn't good in the tokens deck exactly when you have Staff of the Storyteller. But like with Boomerang Basics, I think it's breathed a lot of new life into the card. If they have another Bowmaster, we probably lose, unfortunately. I will be bringing in all my Piracy Charms. So Mishra's Factory, if you're unfamiliar, it's a 2/2, and then it can tap itself and become a 3/3 after blocking. So you need a lot of attack power to kill it. Okay, no, don't Lily on us. All right, that sucks. Well, I will be attacking Lily now. They can keep their insect back to block. Target player sacrifice a creature. Okay, I will sacrifice. And now, unfortunately, they are going to get another activation to make me discard a card here. They would be crazy to keep the insect token or to attack with it. They need to keep it back. Urborg. Now I don't have to pay life for my entombs. Okay, they're smallpoxing us. This sucks. All right, so we're going to discard this, and we'll lose a land. We do have Boomerang Basics, but we don't have much else. I probably actually just want to ponder. This is what they want to do. They want to basically get you into a situation where you can't address their Liliana. That was a great rip, by the way. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to go ahead and get an island, Boomerang Basics, and then we'll Storm Chaser. And now we have a body that threatens, so they have to hold this back. They don't have an easy way to get additional bodies. We'll discard the Preordain, which is the weaker of the cantrips. Hopefully, oh no, that's going to be a problem too. We'll need to find a Wasteland. So they can basically discard our entire hand here, but they might have to give up their Mishra's Fact. Oh, I'm so tempted to just concede here. I think I do. Yeah, there's no hope. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what's going on. Like, they had this engine to make us discard every turn. They themselves are not going to discard because they're hellbent. Yeah, this is a bad matchup. Let's see what we do here. This is probably like a forced negation matchup. Tamiyo is good. They don't necessarily have a way to end her, and they're not going to have a lot of attack power. I think I mean, we could keep the Dismember in just because, but I don't know. Piracy Charm's the real thing we need. Like, their main creatures are just, like, I'd be surprised if they're playing Baragorth, but they might be. But Baragorth is often too big to kill with Dismember anyway. Tamiyo's not necessarily good, actually. And the reason she's not necessarily good is they have 4 Bowmasters in their deck that basically invalidate her. We're never going to have enough mana to use her. I'm going to take her out. We're bringing some negations. We're on the play. I'll keep the Dazes in here. They're like, even late in the game, we're going to be low resource. That turn when I dazed the Dark Ritual, that could have been like Thoughtseize him, or it could have been Liliana, which I could have dazed the Liliana. But it's impossible to know. So in that situation, I felt it was correct to daze the Dark Ritual. Please leave a comment with a timestamp if you fundamentally disagree with that, and if you can back it up with, like, math in terms of, like, okay, the probability of them having a Liliana versus, or some other 3-drop. I think Lily's the only 3-drop in their deck, probably, because they don't really go high in mana because they're constantly destroying their own mana through wastelanding, like, activating wastelands at their opponents and through smallpox. So we can take a look at their list. This is what they were playing a few days ago. 4 Lilies, 2 Karns. Karn is also extremely dangerous against Tamiyo, so I feel confident in taking Tamiyo. And yes, sure enough, Bowmaster is the only one in their deck, which makes... Wait, let's take a look at the sideboard. They should have Baragorths in here. They do. I'm not going to respect Baragorth. I'm going to cut these in favor of more force negations. And I guess they have enough artifacts that consign might make sense here. It's a blue card for force. I just don't... I fundamentally don't believe in Tamiyo here. I'm going to take a consign. No, this should be a Dismember. It's not going to let me make the change, but I should have kept a Dismember in for the... so we have 4 removal spells for their 4 spells. Okay, this is good. It's not great, but I am going to Storm Chaser Boomerang a couple times. I'm going to do my little Timmy thing, and then our opponent's going to smoke us. We'll see what happens. But in defense of my Timmy thing, it is a very mana-efficient Timmy thing to be doing. Dark Ritual, Thoughtseize, Bowmaster would be the most devastating turn 1. Thoughtseize is fine. They're going to take one of the Boomerang Basics. All right, they did. Force of Will is a great rip because they don't know about it, and now they're inclined to, like, try to Windmill Slam a Dark Ritual spell. I love how Boomerang Basics, like, also amps this up to, like, flip Delver power when you do it, like through the Storm Chaser Talon. It's a great little combo. I'm really in love with that little combo. Like, it makes me so happy to do that. It sparks joy in a way that, like, just flipping a Delver doesn't. And I love the art on these otters. I love how they're just kind of like, it looks like they're being, like, catapulted through the air. You know what I'm saying? Why is the splash going backward? I don't understand the physics of the art, but it looks cool. Is that what happens when you jump out of the water? Does the splash go backward instead of forward? Maybe. Maybe I just need to take physics again. I did not do well in physics. All right, let's see that Karn. Show me that Karn. Engineered Plague? You spent 3 mana for this. I'll spend 0 mana for it. That is a cool card. That's a cool tech card. I don't want to lose both my otters, though. They don't have a second land for Urza Saga, but All right, I'm going to go ahead and start with the brainstorm, and then I can preordain the bad cards away. I mean, the bad cards are all good. Planisphere is pretty good. It's a different type if they have a follow-up engineered plague. I think we actually do the Planisphere here, and I'll just hold the ponders. Next turn I can Storm Chaser and preordain, and then do a third thing. So this triggers. We've got some big dudes, some big buff flying otters getting catapulted from underwater in, Avatar, the Shape of Water physics, not Avatar: The Last Bender physics. Okay. I don't think either of those shows James Cameron probably respects physics a little bit more in his movies. I actually haven't seen the new one. It just felt the first one was Pocahontas with mech suits. When that movie came out, I was in China and I went to the theater and it was like this huge event. Like it was the only thing going on in China at the time. Everybody was so hyped about Avatar. I think it made like $1 billion just in that country. So there is a very real risk here that they have the Bowmaster. I'm going to play this first so we at least get the first buff on these dudes. And that way we'll know whether the Bowmaster is forthcoming. If they don't have the Bowmaster, they're going to have to throw something. You're going to have to throw a creature in front of the Urza Saga. All right, now we're going to do this. This is going to double... No, it won't double trigger. Yet. We need to draw one more card. Okay, always yield to triggers from otters. How about that? And always yield to triggers on my hero token. Okay, let's see what we find. We just need a cantrip here. Or 2 cantrips. I'm going to top. All right, these are permanent buffs. Our opponent has got some permanent problems on their hands. Okay, let's go ahead and see what we have here. They may just be conceding. What are they doing? They're Bowmastering now? That's allowed. You can do that. You could have done that a while back before I did it the first time. A Bitter Triumph. Okay. Force of Will is not what we want. I'm just going to put it on the bottom. We're never going to draw up to it. I don't think. But now, if they have... Yeah, they could potentially clear all our creatures, which would be disastrous. They'll be at 1, though. They can't Smallpox. They can't tap their hatchery anymore. So I think we've won this, even though it's not certain that we won. Damn. Let's hear it for the Otters. Let's hear it for our boys with like their hard hats and their like snowballs. Why do they have snowballs in their hand? Clearly it's not below freezing out there. I don't know. This art is just so puzzling. Okay. So I'm going to bring in the Dismember. I am going to keep in the Dazes. I'm going to keep in all my forces. Dismember can also hit constructs. I'll take out the consign. I mean, it can technically consign triggers. It's not as good. Like I've won lots of games where I've consigned the Urza Saga ability to make a token, but if they are winning with Urza Saga, we've already lost. We are a tempo deck. Also, Boomerang Basics can kill those constructs. I didn't think about that. The card is just so cracked. I mean, this is ready to go toe-to-toe with them. I'm going to keep it. I will force the negation. Or, I'll they can Thoughtseize us. Like, our hand is going to run low. For sure. Okay, they started with the best land of their deck, the Hatchery. Dark Ritual's fun. You have the Lily. Dark Ritual. Oh. Oh, no, opponent. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I can't stand Karn. Karn the Great Piece of Trash. That's what the Epic Storm calls him. I'll pitch the Brainstorm because I have a feeling we're going to need to use these ponders to find action. And burn off. If they had the Thoughtseize, they would have cast it first. That was a 3 for 2. Feels pretty good. Go ahead and ponder. I want the Storm Chaser. I want to land though. Fundamentally, Piracy Charm kills the Bowmaster, but like I don't want the body around. I want to fight it on the stack. I'm going to any order shuffle this and try to find a land. Come on. Wasteland. Okay, right. Right on. Yes. So we'll do, like, I'll happily waste their land. I'll waste a different land. I don't really, like, they have to waste this themselves. Yeah, I'm still going to waste it. This is an easy force negation. And I'll save my force of will for later in case they have a bowmasters. But I am going to probably waste one of those lands. I'm going to give them the dudes. Well, let's see. I mean, they may not ever find a way to produce those dudes. And I might just waste the Urza Sagas and stuff. They're down to 2 cards. I don't think it's correct to waste them here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fetch an island. And then I'm going to ponder and I'm going to see what I can find. Because if I can find Boomerang Basics and the other card. I mean, Murktide, what are the odds that they... The problem is this has a lot of cards I don't want. But, like, am I really going to complain about those lands? If they are able to smallpox again, which they absolutely could, then I lose my Murktide and I lose the land and they get like a bunch of flyers. I don't like this. I'm going to try to do better. Okay. So if we do this, we take a turn off force. My instinct is to wait just in case they have some Windmill Slam card. And then I can do this next turn. It's not going to make a huge difference in terms of damage. But if they have another Thoughtseize, or if they have another Smallpox, or if they have Lily or anything like that, I need a force. And I'll just sit here with nothing. Okay, that's a good thing to waste. I'll be wasting that. Blue card, please. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and deploy this. And I'm going to be wasting this. And now we're pretty much all in on their own mana base, doing them in. Okay, they're... Oh. Do you have a Bowmaster? I will have to force that. Okay, good. So I think if they don't find the answer here... Whoa, they did it twice. They're very confident that these are going to be the way that they win. Okay, that is a blocker. And maybe, like, they've been playing this deck a lot. I have played a lot of Pox myself, but we look at the record. Like, they've been playing mono black Pox consistently for months. Okay. All right, I'm going to play this out because this represents hardcast force negation. I'm not going to attack here because if they just activate this, I actually don't have anything I can do. One more card, and I've got the Storm Chaser talent. I can level up and get back a cantrip. Okay, they're continuing to hurt themselves. Hurt me more. Favorite line from the freaking, or the Clashing of Sinew. Clashing of Bone and Sinew is my favorite line. Okay, they're gonna Damping Sphere. I don't care about this. They're gonna waste and they're gonna create a ton of flyers. It's gonna be a problem. I can't stop that Wasteland. I mean, if I had consign, I could stop it. I'll let this go. This is not my fight. They're going to do it in the instep or when I attack, probably. Okay, Daze. I don't think that's a good spell here. But it does pitch to force. I just have to chill. I think they're going to go and make all the dudes. They can make 5 dudes and start hitting me immediately. And it's in the air. I can't do anything about it. I can get a Merc out. And then if I find Merc, it's quite good. And then I can defend Merc. I think that's the way that we win this. Merc will be a 7/7. They opt not to. They're going to try to get even more tokens, I guess. They've got tons of land. Smallpox. No thanks. I can't force again, but they're hellbent. If they attack with the Mishra's Factory, I will trade. Because this, frankly, this doesn't have any evasion. It's never going to get past one of these bodies. They're just doing it during their main phase. Interesting. Okay. Because I'm tapped out, they know I can't consign it. Maybe that's what they were thinking. I did have a consign in my deck previously, so... Let's think about what the best thing we could do here is. I think we just have to reroll Ponder. We take 6, and we're just desperately trying to find the Merc. And maybe even a second Merc. I'll make my Merc a baby Merc. I still have Force up. Yeah, I'm looking for Merc, so I'll take the Ponder here. And we have exactly enough mana to Ponder and Merc in the same time turn with the Damping Sphere out. If they have another way to create bodies, it's going to be pretty scary. We're on a 3-turn clock. Merc can... Merc has to be pretty big to deter them from attacking. They also have this Mishra's Factory to block. If I draw a Wasteland, I could block. I could blast it and then maybe do some cantripping so that I can at least do damage. Come on, Merc. Okay, I'm not going to complain about that. Let's ponder. Piracy Charm clears 1. Wasteland. This is not Merc. This needs to be shuffled. I will take this out. I'll hit them for 2. And now if we get a big 8/8 Merc, it's still... Yeah, they'll have to hold back attackers and it'll make things complicated, but it's probably not good enough. We could have also done the whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1, but I don't think that is going to get us where we need to go either. Play Swamp. We'll take 6. Yeah, Hatchery is a good freaking card. I hope you can see that. It's solid. It's a power crap Bitter Blossom. Bitter Blossom on a land. We're losing to it, and I do not mind at all. Like, my opponents played excellent. They played to their outs. We could still find the Merc, but we can't fetch. We can't force anymore. Let's preordain. Come on, Merc. Boomerang Basics deals with one of them. It's not good enough. Let's think about this, though. We have a land in hand, but it's every card costs an additional. So we cast Boomerang Basics. It costs 2, and then we can't cast... I think these both have to go on the bottom. Sadly. It's Merc or bust here, in my opinion. And even Merc probably doesn't win it. Yeah, I actually don't know if there's a way we can win. Is this non-creature spells or each spell? Yeah. Well, I'm going to do it, and then we have to pay the extra. Okay, so hear me out. Piracy Charm can kill 1 during their turn. I think that has to be the play. We kill one of them. We survive. And then maybe through some... I can't think of a way we win. We'd have to have a giant Storm Chaser talent, and there's no way to do that. We can't force... Yeah, I'm going to do this just to stay alive for a turn, but again, I don't think it wins. We could, in theory, both Daze and Piracy Charm, but I don't think Daze is going to be like a key thing. They're going to keep one back. Okay, let's think about this. Does this change anything? Do they have a Bowmaster in hand? I think I am going to just kill one of these, and then I'll just attack in, and then we're dead the next turn. They'll still have 4 bodies, but if we Merc, they might not be able to kill us. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Wait. I could Island Walk him. It's not going to be enough, though. Oh, wait. If I drew another Piracy Charm, I could Island Walk him and buff him. How many Piracy Charms have I used? 0? That's literally the only line I can think of. Oh, wait. They don't have islands, so that won't work. Sorry. It doesn't make him unblockable. It just gives him Island Walk. Okay, we're going to kill one of these. Did I choose the wrong ability? No, I didn't. Okay, good. If we take 3, I mean, we're still super dead. I hope they tap this or try to cast something. Another Damping Sphere doesn't do anything. Okay. Wait, actually it does. It stacks. I don't know what we could find. Merc would be great, but it's not going to be enough. Oh, I actually can use Merc's ability to delve deeper and make him even bigger. It doesn't matter, though. It's just a cool thing I observed. Sure, why not? He's arbitrarily large, but we're dead. Unless they block. If they make the mistake of blocking, they may think it's a tactic. Then they can't still kill us. Yeah, there's no harm in blocking here. All right, well, we tried. Yeah, this was a great game. Really came down to it. Yeah, good game. Okay, losing to Pox. I think it could have gone either way. I'm proud of my play. I don't think these were forces. They did do something here. It's not like a totally dead card. I don't think it's what I would have boarded in, but what really did it was the fact that we could stop all the smallpoxes, but we couldn't stop the Wasteland on their Hatchery, which is why Hatchery is such a strong card, because it really does have inevitability. You will eventually be able to sacrifice it somehow. Round 2, we're up against Scion of Draco Beanstalk. Boomerang Basics is a big deal if they get the Leyline out. I'm going to keep on the strength of that. Also, Tamiyo, they have a lot of removal in their deck. Let's take a look at the list. So they have Bowmasters, which is catastrophic. Uro, Solitude. But the main thing they have is 4 Plows and 4 Leyline Binding, which are bad news against our token deck. I'm going to keep... Again, I'm pretty confident they're going to try to open with Leyline. Their deck is a lot better when they have Leyline. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to Boomerang Basics it, and then I'm going to try to build up a Merc and hope that we can stop. Okay, they didn't have the Leyline, but... So their deck is super weak to Wasteland. I'm going to go ahead and fire out Tamiyo here. She's probably going to die, but that's her role. She's my sacrificial librarian. Okay. And just a note, Boomerang Basics is a sorcery. It's not an instant. My opponent's doing a suboptimal end-step Brainstorm. Maybe looking for a Plow, trying to fix their mana because they're playing a 4-color deck, 5-color deck? 5-color deck. Good luck. Like, if my 1-color deck that's disciplinedly built can't beat their wildly ambitious 5-color deck, I'll be disappointed. But I think it is possible. They do have the tools. Okay, whoa. Do they not have a land? Well, that is very good for me. And they did shuffle. Okay. So I definitely want to preordain into a Wasteland here. I'm just going to come across. They might Daze. Do they play Daze? They do have 3 Dazes in the deck. This would be a good time to use Daze. But Wasteland is so sweet because they may have another cantrip. I'm going to risk it. Okay. And Boomerang Basics number 2. I don't think either of these cards are necessary. We don't have anything to target with the Boomerang Basics is the main thing. I'm looking for a Brainstorm. Wow, we're bricking. All right. We have Dismember up if they somehow play like a Bowmaster. Okay, Brainstorm again. Again, like I really wish I could have found the Wasteland so that I would have been able to prevent this. They may find a land here. They're playing 20 lands. They found a scrub. Thoughtseize is fine. I'm not going to fight this. We're already ahead on cards with Tamiyo. They've fired a ton of their cards. They don't play Murktide, which is an omission in a Beanstalk deck. Like I genuinely think Murktide's so much better than Uro in a Beanstalk deck. Because it's like a Molddrifter, basically, effect when you have Beanstalk out. And it's like a giant Molddrifter for 2 mana instead of 5. Okay, so there's no reason to shuffle. We already looked. I mean, I could shuffle to decrease the lands. All right, so here, this is just I'm going to attack. I'm going to fetch. I'm going to crack the clue, see what I draw. If they daze my Storm Chaser talent, I'm not that beaten up about it because I am getting further ahead with Tamiyo. I do want to draw cards. Blue, blue, clue. Tamiyo number 2. You see what I did there with the rhyming? I'm like Dr. Seuss up in here. All right. So this comes down. We're going wide. They have tons of ways to kill this. Bowmaster, Leyline. I have zero confidence this will survive, but their priority is going to be killing Tamiyo. They found land number 3. Now their deck is really starting to cook. Tamiyo's gone. She was a 3-for-1. Bowmaster is most definitely a possibility here. I definitely think that it's correct to start with the Storm Chaser talent. With the prowess trigger on the stack, they may Bowmaster, and I'll just dismember the Bowmaster. Okay, they let that resolve. I could draw here and then dismember if they... But then that dismember could cost me. I think it's worth it because then I can just play the Tamiyo afterward if they don't interact on that front. Let's draw. If I draw a cantrip, it might be worth playing. Of course, I drew a land in my 18 land deck. Definitely got flooded this game, unfortunately. But I did choose to keep. I made my bed and now I'm sleeping in it. Let's come across. Again, they could still Bowmaster to try to like ping, block. But I don't think they have the Bowmaster. They only have 2 in their deck. I'm going to deploy another Tommy here. It will not get dazed. Okay, that's great. So we are presenting like a little bit of an offensive. And next turn we can start regrowing our Boomerang Basics, which is not bad at all. I have a 5th land, so I can immediately Boomerang it back to my hand, which is kind of cool. All right, so... oh my goodness! Lands! All right. I'm going to play this out just in case they Bowmaster. Let's go ahead and use one of these. Overshield. Boomerang Basics. Love this card. They did not have an endurance or anything like that. I'm going to go for it. I'll just bounce this one that we've already used the ability on. There's no reason to ever level it up to 3, I don't think. You know, actually, I could level it up next turn. I've never done that before. That might actually be a good play. It might be a terrible play. But they may use like an O-ring on this to, like, if they're afraid that I'm going to ultimate it. All right, let's go ahead and come across. Yeah, Boomerang Basics. My new favorite card. My goodness, this card is great. Answers so many of problematic permanents from your opponent. Like, you're about to Tommy with 8. Oh, what? Who would win? A powerful Planeswalker that's about to draw half your opponent's deck, or Boomerang Basics, you know? Okay. They took a land. No, they took freaking 2 non-lands. Damn it. All right. Planisphere I think is better. Let's go ahead and Planisphere here, and then I'll do this as a like emergency backup move. I am going to play with this land. This is the last. Actually, damn it. I know I was saying damn a lot. It's in the Bible. Come on. It's not a bad word. That's my excuse. It's the worst excuse. Okay, so I'm going to Astrologian's Planisphere first. Because I don't actually have another land to fetch here. Yeah, I'll Astrologian's Planisphere. I'll play it out. We get another token dude. This is a force if you have one. Okay. Now, I will talent, draw a bunch of cards. Now, all of our creatures are outside of Bowmaster range, just in case they have one of their 2 Bowmasters. I know I've been talking about it the entire time, but it's extremely powerful against our deck, and I don't want to lose to it. Now, let's create the creature first. And now, since I can't technically cast a sorcery while it's on this deck, always yield. Always yield. If we find another card, I do think that this Wasteland is worth using. I don't want to draw this force, but Wastelanding off the white will be pretty good. And we have the Merc for next turn. We could just play the Merc, but if they have like some sort of board wipe, that would be bad. So I'll just hold the Merc. Oh, I can't actually waste them this turn cycle, so I should have probably just played the Merc. Let's go ahead and come across for 8. They're 3. Their Force of Will fetch land deck is at 3. That's a win. They have Uro in their deck. That would not save them. Actually, the card that I'm drawing is Murktide, which doesn't proc any of these. Yeah. But I think we actually just have them dead. That was cool. That was us on the play with them having a bad... Actually, that was them on the play. They had a pretty bad run of cards that they drew there. So, do they have more Bowmasters in their sideboard? They don't. I was worried about like board wipes. They do have Rest in Peace, which is not Rest in Peace, Wrath of the Skies. That's what I care about. That's going to be brutal. I think this, if there's ever been a bring in the Force Negations matchup, it's probably this one. I don't think we dazed them the entire time, so they don't necessarily know that we have daze, but they should probably presume it. Another card you can play in this deck is This Town Ain't Big Enough, but the fact that it costs 2 instead of just 1 is, and it doesn't natively draw a card. You have to have a Bowmaster or a Beanstalk out, so I don't think this is good. So the only card that Piracy Charm helps against is Bowmaster, so I think we leave the Dismembers in. They're going to bring in 2 Red Elemental Blasts. I'm not afraid. I'm going to take out a land. I managed to draw all 6 of my islands last game. That was pretty wild. We still won, though. We got completely flooded and we still won. That's a scoreboard for the deck. Yeah, I like having 2 Force Negations. I'm just trying to figure out what to take out. I mean, we could take out a Dismember. It doesn't actually hit that many things in their deck. It hits Glarb, which is a win more card, frankly. Yeah, it's 2/4. It doesn't hit Uro. It doesn't hit Solitude. Actually, do we just take it out? I think we take it out and we bring in the Piracy Charms. They're more flexible. Okay, yeah, I've convinced myself. This always kills Bowmasters, and it does it without us losing life. And it can also grant Island Walk, which they are going to have islands, so we can Alpha Strike. And it can just make them discard cards. I like it. It's a lot more flexible. These 2 force negations correct here. I don't want to go down on days because they haven't seen days and they're not going to expect it on the play or when they're on the play. I think this is actually a good hand. And the reason is they're extremely greedy. Are they playing any? They are playing basics, but they shouldn't be. You should never play basics in a 5 color deck. It's greedy to do so. And we can color screw them pretty hard. I'm going to keep. Scariest card in their deck is Bowmaster, and we have an answer to it. We don't have an answer to them having the natural Leyline, but they didn't have it. Okay. So I think here I just preordain. Just to get. I'm not going to show them the Wasteland because I don't want them to get spooked and actually go get a basic. There can be times where you actively want to do that, but I'm going to take this force negation. Do I want to? I don't have any pressure is the thing, but their deck doesn't do anything without lands. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm actually going to keep this Wasteland. And my goal is to just completely waste them out of the game. I'll stop Beanstalk. I think that's the only card I stop here. I'm not going to go after cantrips. They're probably going to Surveil here or get... Oh, do they not play Surveil lands? Well, hats off to them for having the sense not to play Surveil land when you're already playing Xander's Lounge. Because you don't want a lot of ETB tap lands. Okay, so interesting. They're like chilling on the lands there. They can only fetch island. One of these it can't fetch a plains. So we will get a Wasteland conversion here. So I am going to play it out and I'm just going to chill. But now they know about it. They know one of their lands is going to be one shot. We can pay for days if they days of force negation. Now they can get the plains. They're going to get island here, I imagine. Okay, what is this? Swamp. Oh, they play a basic swamp too? I didn't see that. They weren't playing it before. That's tilting. Yeah, I'm just going to daze this. That sucks, though. That really sucks. And the reason I'm going to do this is because they themselves play daze. It's tempting to just pay for it, but I don't want to get in a situation where I have to use my force negation. Yeah, like, they changed their deck since their last thing. I'll let that resolve. And now I am going to force this. It's worth it. I will pitch the Piracy Charm. I desperately need to get my Boomerang Basics going here. The card that they pitched, by the way, was Supreme Verdict, which is very scary. Okay. And we're just going to continue to... that definitely makes me think I need to change my strategy if they're playing 3 basics. These cards are insane. Astrological Planisphere coming down next turn. And then Boomerang Basics to just return it after they clear the creature, because they will probably clear the creature and not the equipment. Tomio can come down next turn, but is it really like that impactful? I think, yeah, I'm going to take the Astrologian Planisphere here. I'll actually put it, like, just in case they have Thoughtseize. I don't think they do, but their deck is clearly changed. They're playing a basic swamp, so I'm going to presume they have something like that. We're shields down. I'll waste any non-basic as soon as it comes to my turn. You don't waste until it's your turn. Okay, they don't have a 4th land at least. That's nice. We're going to go ahead and do this. Planisphere. A lonely planisphere. Like the Lonely Planet guide that you use when you travel back in the 90s. I don't know if people still use Lonely Planet because they've got like TripAdvisor and stuff. But I used to own books from Lonely Planet on lots of different things. Sorry, I'm going off on a total tangent, but memory lane, right? I'm an old man. I've got a lot of miles under these feet. This is probably the Oblivion Ring thing. Interestingly, if they O-ring it, or if they Leyline mine it, rather, I can Boomerang Basics the Leyline thing back, get another creature. This is fine. They're looking for land number 4, but their big mana deck already has 3 very solid pillars underneath it. And they've chosen excellent basics. These are the unglued basics. Back before they started printing, full art basics in like basically every set. Back when it used to be something special, these were the ones that everybody had. Okay, interesting. They're taking care of the equipment. Because do they know about the Boomerang Basics? That was very savvy of them. All right. So I think this is just Wasteland. And then I'll attack. And then I will Tomio. And I think all these cards are going to be answered, but we have to chill and do something. If Tamio gets even one clue, it'll be a huge victory. Did I not play a land? I think I may have neglected to play a land there. Yeah, that happens. Don't Teferi me. Stock up. Okay, that's not good, but it's not as devastating as it could be. This card, I'm kind of like gradually coming to respect it. My friend Dayton called it a crayon eater card. It's just like kind of idiot proof. Like it's just kind of like a big dumb card that you can cast that. Okay. So here's the second blue source. We don't have any targets. Playing out the Wasteland can deny them a surveil, but I'd rather play this out and I'll just attack. And I'll hold up the Piracy Charm. I'm going to continue to respect Bowmaster. Bowmaster will still be a 2-for-1 against me, but I can kill it and I can Boomerang Basics the creature if I need to. Another one. Whoa. Okay, we're really falling far behind. And it has everything to do with my opponent's decision to put a third basic in their list. So I don't believe they have any more basics, so they probably would have fetched them. So playing this out does deny them a surveil. We'll do this. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and attack here. Since I'm constrained on land, I am going to go ahead and Boomerang Basics this right now. And maybe I get lucky and find like a force, because we'll probably need one after everything that our opponent just did. You want to force that? I'm fine with that if you want to do that. Okay. We get a card. Another Storm Chaser talent. Okay, this might actually go somewhere. So we'll go ahead and pass. See if they want to surveil. They're not going to surveil if that means losing mana. This has been a great league so far. I'm having a blast. If you are enjoying this, like, subscribe. And what? No way. You've played 2 freaking... Oh my goodness. That is insane. What is your deck? I guess they're not on the deck that I thought they were on. Am I just now putting that together? Am I that dense? Yeah, they're just on Esper control. Okay. Well, I completely sideboarded wrong. They got the Storm Chaser. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, man, like I feel very embarrassed that like I've just been operating, but like I'm definitely, it's very clear now what they're playing. They did tap both their blacks, so we don't have to worry about shenanigans from the Bowmaster crew. I do believe they probably have 4 Bowmasters in there. So these are both going to go on the... I mean, Boomerang Basics... Yeah, I mean, like, it's blue-white base. But it took them fetching the second swamp for me to really snap out of it and realize, oh my goodness, they're just... like, I'm totally misreading what their deck does. I don't want this card. I feel like we can do so much better. Let's put this on the bottom. Yeah, there are no targets right now. Okay, that's better. I am going to play out my land. I'm going to play this out. They're forcing this. Okay. Pitching Teferi. All right. I could do an extra damage and force them to discard a card and just go to Hellbent and be like all in on killing them in 2 turn cycles. But I won't be able to because this won't be big next turn. I'm going to hold this with the expectation that it'll do something. Even if it's just giving block, like if they play a Merc and I can get like a creature through with the Island Walk, that's not terrible. Yep. So they're at 6. Ponder. They have cast so many value, like cantrips and stuff like that, to stock up, Ponder, Brainstorm. I think it's basically unthinkable that we're able to limp across the finish line. Check this out. Target player discards a card. Do you have 2 instants in your hand? And then they take 2. Victory is within reach. The card they discarded was... What? The Unagi of Kyoshi Island. This is a new card. Let's read it. So it has Waterbend. Very powerful. Controls counter it. That's different from the Waterbend on Ong. They're abusing these freaking Waterbend and... Oh, it's Ward Waterbend. Wait, they can tap additional artifacts. Okay, so I guess they just arbitrarily use Waterbend as like a keyword that's thematic, but it doesn't actually mean anything. You have to actually read the description text. Whenever an opponent draws their second card each turn, you draw 2 cards. Okay, this is a cool card. Don't get me wrong, but it's freaking fortune to cast. It's not a huge surprise that they discarded it. All right, that's disappointing because any spell and we would have potentially chained cantrips and killed them. I'm going to hold this. Just in case I find a brainstorm. We're at the point in the game where I don't expect to shuffle my brainstorm. They're at 2. Like, lots of cards could still break this open. I think they probably found a Bowmaster or they would have just conceded. Snapcaster. So they can plow one of these. I can't do anything about that. So the game will continue. But again, I think we're in a pretty good place. They're killing our prowess creature. Boomerang Basics. Unfortunately, that's not a card that we want to Boomerang Basics. I'm just going to attack and see if they'll take the trade. They might take it. Okay, that's fine. I don't think that was going to do anything without the equipment or anything. They were very savvy and they ended the equipment earlier. They're at 1, card in hand 2. Ponder. I think they can still win from here easily. But the fetches are not going to work very well. If they find a Barragoyf, that's very scary. And I imagine Barragoyf is another Crayon Eater card that it just takes 0 skill to play, but it's just, like incredibly powerful. Like Tamiyo is extremely powerful, but at least you have to kind of think. And I play Barragoyf too, so I don't want to seem like a hypocrite. But yeah, let's go ahead and play this out. I'm going to do this. You know what I am going to do? I'm going to go ahead and go for this. Check this out. I'm going to go get an island. And I'm not sure how this works, but I think it is correct to go ahead and do this. So we're going to hit the actual Boomerang Basics. So this should trigger. Okay, it does trigger. And now this comes back to hand. And now we drew a Tamiyo, which is a great alternate win con. But I do think I'm going to go ahead and just play this out so we have a second like actual threat on the table. And Bowmasters can still break all this up if they decide to play Bowmasters in their black deck. I mean, please, for the love of all that is good, play Bowmasters in your deck. I'm sure they're playing it. They're probably just not finding it. Stock up, sure. And we have a lethal threat, and we have another threat that's going to be lethal, most likely. So they have to find 2 answers here. I love Esper. I don't think it's super well positioned, like what our opponent's doing. Stock up is good in Ancient Tomb decks. I don't think it's a great card without Ancient Tomb. Max Sortion has a great Esper. Is it Esper? I think it's just blue-black. Okay. This doesn't address the problem. You're still dead on board, most likely. Well, let's see. Any cantrip. There we go. All right. And that is going to be the ball game, I presume. I didn't want to play my Tamiyo and Flipper. I could have done that as well. It just didn't feel like I'd rather have her just generating clues if we're going to grind. Okay. So again, embarrassing that I did misidentified my opponent's deck for like half the match. But yeah, I don't want to talk trash on Esper in general. I love Esper. I played it at Eternal Weekend the year before. And I think it's a great archetype because you've got the best removal. You got Thoughtseize in your deck and everything like that. But it was clear that my opponent either wasn't playing Bowmasters or just was being extremely unlucky in finding it. I think Bowmasters is the best black creature ever printed. It's better than Barragoyf. It's better than any of those things. Okay. So, I mean, unless you consider like Archon of Cruelty, but like for its mana value, Bowmasters is better. So we're up against Juhyun. Unknown opponent. We have no fear of Wasteland, which is just fantastic. Again, another great reason to play this deck. I think what we do here is we just turn 1 Tommy and press our advantage being on the play. Like Tommy really exacerbates play draw dynamics, which is one of the reasons I'll be so relieved when she's out of the format. Opponent's mulliganing, but we do have Force Blue card and we have Daze. So I think we're very safe if they're on a combo deck. I would go so far as to say we're very favored with this type of hand against a combo deck. We're favored just because we're doing the Island Tamiyo start, which is probably the most broken thing you can do in Legacy right now, other than, you know, casting a turn 2 or potentially even turn 1 Wandering with Karnforge. Okay, so let's pass. They are using a creature as their avatar. The Scythe Cat Cup. Somebody called it Scythe? Skid? I have no idea. It's a word that I only read. Doesn't come up a lot in casual conversation unless I'm talking with Death. Okay, it looks like we're going to get a big counterspell here. Yes! I would like to daze your Cruel Captain. And I'll hold the Force for later. Okay. So Wasteland is the highest priority card we can find. Brainstorm would be great. I'm just going to play this out. I am going to Storm Chaser talent just to get on the board. We could definitely argue that Murktide is going to be better long term. However, I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm just going to use the card that's available right now mana-wise and trust in the fact that this is a 1 mana card and we'll pitch the Merc and maybe draw another one later. But that was a 2-for-1. It was a 2-for-1 on the Tezzeret. But now they're going to get a 2-for-1 when we have to force one of their, insane threats. Okay, Planar Nexus, very scary card. Key. I will force the Monolith, which is not forthcoming, luckily. Wasteland, love it. I'm actually going to go after the Tomb here. I feel like if they had the other card, they would have led with it, but I could be wrong. I mean, we're aggroing them, so maybe it doesn't make sense to go after the Tomb. Yeah, I'm going to go after the Tomb. I'm not casting any spells here, so it doesn't really matter. I'll just chill with Dismember up in case they play the one creature in their deck. But yeah, I think conventional wisdom here is you do go after the Tomb, even though it's doing damage to them. If they have the tower, it's a tearjerker. It's a heartbreaker. Oh, okay, well that's annoying, but I do have Dismember, and it's not like they're going to be going after my life. Okay, so here, I think we ponder before we attack, just to get the extra damage. And I am going to fetch, just so I can keep both cards if I need to. Ponder. These aren't good enough. I don't really need more land. I mean, if I take the island, if I take the Tarn, did I already play a land? I did. Yeah, so I'm just going to any order shuffle this. I don't think it's good enough. All right, Storm Chaser's talent anyway, which is great. We can play it out. Now we trigger prowess again. We get another dude. We're going wide. They could K command here, but they could exile one with a K command. Hopefully they don't do that, but I'm not going to force a K command for 0. Okay, they don't. All right. And now if we draw enough land, we could potentially Storm Chaser, but the best draw is definitely Boomerang Basics. And you may be wondering why I didn't flip her. I probably do need to flip her soon if Karn comes out, but it looks like they're going to be doing the token thing. If Karn comes out, these clues become useless, sadly. Brainstorm, come on. Okay, that's not terrible. So I want to crack the clue first just in case I find a cantrip. But if I find a cantrip, I'm necessarily forgoing a clue, but I've got so many clues already that I don't really care. These become 2/2s, which trade with one of these. I don't think they're going to take the trade. But I do have to be concerned that it could become so big that I can't dismember it. So I think I just need to... Do I just need to attack and pathetically dismember after they make it? Yeah, before they block. That still does damage. I'll do that. I think they probably will try to block one. Okay, they're not doing it. Well, let's think about this. So if we play this out, I think Merc is better here because it's hard to exile. We can just do it next turn. It is mana investment, and we do want to crack through these clues. But a second Storm Chaser, what does that really accomplish in the grand scheme of things? Merc is so much stronger next turn. So I'll just hold up Dismember, and I will get rid of the bodies. And I'll wait and see if they get something that, I'll wait until this is basically a full strength. It's a 5/5, and then I'll kill it. I'm gonna let that go. They are opting not to create a construct, so they may have some big spell here, like a Mox Opal. Another Saga, okay, but I feel like you could just win by cranking out Saga Construct, so I'm not sure I agree with the play of not playing that last turn. 4 mana in the pool. This is 1 ring, which I will force. Oh, it's even bigger than that. That is annoying. It's probably going to get rid of Tomio. Oh, he gets rid of one of those. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and force here. And unfortunately, like, it's just not enough. Like, the trigger was brutal. It wasn't the worst. Okay, and if they come in, I'll just dismember it to get it off the table. I don't think they come in here. Well, if they're coming in, like, I don't even know that I go after this. Because I can kill it during my turn and get additional prowess. I'm not sure. If I kill it now, then Merc is bigger. What I'm really worried about is the fact that I won't be able to crack these clues. They're going to create more. I'm going to go ahead and kill it because it's going to be a problem later. All right. Another dismember. Okay, that's not terrible. I'm just going to go ahead and Merc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I absolutely could instead try to find a blue card to go with this, but I'm not doing anything damage-wise that is great. Like, I just don't have a lot going on over here. And this is an example of where I could have waited, like, but I thought, like, if I draw a cantrip, I'll be disappointed just to get an extra damage. You know? Pedal. Okay, what are you doing over there? What's your brutal thing that you're going to do this turn that I am not going to be able to stop? The One Ring. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I still think we have to stop this. Like, if this resolves, they immediately get to draw, gain a life, and then they can find more colorless spells. So they do have Urza Saga this turn. No Planeswalker to attack or anything like that. Like, the best draw is just something that lets me flip my Tamiyo. But they actually have 4 mana. They could play a Karn here, which would be GG. I mean, I could attack the Karn, I guess, and then I could crack clues. I actually wouldn't mind them finding Karn. Okay. If I find a land, I could Storm Chaser, but there's nothing to get back. All right. Let's go ahead and just flip Tommy here. I'm going to start with the Ponder. See what I can find. I don't even know what I could find that would be good here. I don't have consigns in my deck. Oh, yeah. These are fine because I can hold up Force blue card. I should have stacked it differently where the Ponder would be on top instead of the Preordain. But I can't undo that, unfortunately. MTGO doesn't give you any latitude to do that. I'm going to do is go ahead and attack. Get my final clue. And then we're going to flip her. And we have a big blocker. They can not make it. This is not the key that gives unblockability, thankfully. So we'll do this. Tamiyo flips. They are going to try to K-command here. Oh, what are they doing? Oh, they're going to One Ring now? Well, that sucks. Okay. All right. They get their card. They don't have double colorless to K-command. Okay, so it does flip. They're going to take 2 from the One Ring. I didn't think about the fact that they had the key. Like, obviously, that's one of the most fundamental interactions. They can definitely draw a lot of cards here. Murktide might be able to kill them. We'll see. Because Murktide swings, and then they are going to lose enough life from the One Ring. The only thing I need to do this turn, my job is very simple. Counter the One Ring. Or counter, like, if they just have another Ugin, the game's over. It doesn't matter, because the card's broken, fundamentally. That's an R&D mistake. Okay, so they have so much mana. Okay, Urza's Tower too. They have basically infinite mana. This is 7 mana exactly. I think they just have the freaking Ugin again. Oh, no? Okay, good. I'm sorry. I'm kind of a doomer, and like, I just don't like playing against this deck. It's extremely boring to play against. I'm going to let this resolve. This is not the One Ring. I'm going to let this resolve. This is not the One Ring. They have the One Ring activation, sadly. They can't lattice lock me. They can get the Bridge from Burl or whatever, Ensnaring Bridge. That's probably what they're going to get here. And then I'll counter that, and then they'll activate the One Ring a bunch of times. They'll find a One Ring, and then they'll just cast it. They still have 5 floating. Perilous Snare. Well, I do actually have to stop this because this stops my Murktide from doing anything. Yeah, it sucks. Okay, and you could say, oh, well, you should have just countered the Karn instead of countering the card that comes out of it. But I thought they were going to get... Yeah, I guess probably I should have just done that. You're right. if that's what you were thinking, yeah. So now they actually are kind of low on mana. But if they find a One Ring, they win. They don't have enough mana to, I think, reroll Monolith. Okay, that triggers. That gives them more mana. Yeah, actually, they do have enough mana to reroll. So they could use their key here. Another key. Okay, so they can activate the One Ring yet again, like twice, basically here. They might be able to just burn me out before I even get to my turn, sadly. If they find K Command, I'm dead. And I'm highly suspecting they're going to find K Command here. Another Karn. Do they have a One Ring in their sideboard? Maybe it wasn't worth bothering to flip Tamio here. I mean, I wanted to get the card so I'd be able to force, but like this has done tons of damage to me and it's created lots of mana for them. So now they can just go get the other card, and I have to find a Boomerang Basics, and I can't crack these tokens. I can reroll a Ponder and use that to try to find Boomerang Basics, but I'm going to need to get the Ensnaring Bridge out of the way so I can attack with Merc. Assuming that they don't just find another One Ring. They do have the mana to cast it. Ensnaring Bridge. Okay. Okay, they're untapping their Candelabra so they can add a lot of mana. They untap the tower. They untap the Mishra's Workshop. Urza's Workshop, rather. Again, Mishra's Workshop, not legal in Legacy, thankfully. 7 mana. Is this just the Ugin? 8? If this is just a K command, I feel disappointed that I waited this long. Okay, that's white mana. Unfortunately, these opponents rarely time out, but like, man, they are taking their sweet time. I know my clock is lower, but like they didn't really have a lot of decision making to make until this turn. Yeah, good game. Okay. And it wouldn't have mattered if we dismembered there. They would have found whatever they needed. They had arbitrarily large amounts of mana. Okay. So post board, we're taking out Dazes for sure. I know we did get a good like 3-for-1 exchange for the Daze, but we need Force Negation for sure. And we need Consign to Memory. Cards that come out, Dismember comes out completely. It's just not where we want to be. Tamio, I actually cut a lot of times but we've already cut the cards we need. I can absolutely cut a land and bring in a Daze. No, I'm on the play. I'm not going to cut a land. I'm just going to leave Daze out because Daze is really only good during the first few turns, and we showed them Daze, so they might think that we have it on the play. All right, let's do it. So the dream is we just manage to hold up blue the entire time because we have to stop the damn Ugin. Okay, we did get a great hand. This is Consign. We can start with Preordain. We're just going to build to a big Merc. Astrologian Planisphere would be great, but again, I think we have to respect them and keep land open. So I'm just looking for islands. So I'm really glad I didn't cut a land. They do have the ability to just turn one. Okay, these are both going on in the bottom. I was going to say they have... Oh, that's a good draw. They have the ability to turn one ring. And it's really disgusting. And it's basically the game's over. Okay, Opal. We just force the 4 drops and above usually. But I will force the Crow Captain. Come on, land! All right, we're going to have to go dig for land. Come on, deck. We got 18 lands. Okay. Boomerang Basics is pretty good against them. But frankly, like, I just need more land. Frankly. That's how it is. So I'll just draw this land. I'm going to play it. I'm going to respect. I'm going to respect. Once their hand gets empty, especially if they, like, there are only so many key cards you have to counter. Petal. So they're very close to Metalcraft here. Petal, they have Metalcraft. These now tap for 2 each. One ring. Karn. Either one will get memory consigned. Fleshraker. Bye-bye. No thanks. Okay, and they didn't have the follow-up, but they could have easily followed up with 1 ring, so it's good to have the Force Negation in hand too. Okay, so if we draw land, we can actually deploy this Planisphere, but we didn't, so I'm going to go ahead and ponder. That maximizes the likelihood of finding a land. We did find a land, and I think this Tamio is maybe okay since we can repel. I don't want to waste, frankly. The reason I don't want to waste is because I'm just going to assume they have arbitrarily large mana. I don't think it's going to do what we need it to do. I can deploy a Tamio and hold up Consign here. I think that's worth doing because then we're at least advancing the game. Next turn we can flip Tamio. Oh, wait, I can't do both because I need the land. Yeah, that sucks. I'm not going to go off of Consign yet, but I will make my land drop. And then what I'll probably do is I guess I will probably take that land next turn. I could... I've already got plenty of stuff in the graveyard. Maybe I need to have both blue up this turn. We'll see. So these now tap for 3 each. My opponent is not doing anything. Unfortunately, I don't have any instants. Do I want to shuffle that away and just go all in on this Planisphere? The problem with Planisphere is K-Command stops it. And also, like, I do kind of want to keep 2 lands up. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and Tommy here. And I'll just keep both these up. I could just go ahead and preordain and then get the Wasteland. Wasting it does take off some of their capabilities. And it's something in the bank for if they draw Urza Saga. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Murktide is basically what we want next turn, so I definitely don't want to crack this. I'm going to keep this. One of my kids just started crying, so I'm going to go break up the fight. I'll be right back. All right, so we've got the Tommy out. We are going to pass. And again, I definitely don't want to have to crack this to consign, but I will give up the Murktide Dream. But Murktide is going to end the game pretty quickly. I'll pitch Planisphere to force a negation rather than consign if it's because I am that scared of Ugin. I don't want them to even get a trigger off of him. Fleshraker. I think we could let this resolve, but then K-Command becomes very scary. I don't care about mana. I don't care about them burning me out at this point. Murktide's going to end them very quickly. Lotus Petal. That's fine. I mean, again, I'm just accepting they have like arbitrarily large mana. If they have Emrakul in their deck, they win. I don't think they play Emrakul. Okay, and this is why we held up consign all these turns. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. Actually, no, I have to fetch to stop it, so I will. Yeah, it sucks to get rid of our Merc, which is our win con, but I will do it. So we're going blue, colorless, cast with replicate. I'll hit the trigger first, and then I'll hit the spell. All right. And so we stopped both of those, but we didn't stop the trigger there. Okay. So they do get a dude, and they burn us a little bit. They have one more spell coming. Dismember. At this point, they're going to Hellbent here. I could stick a Planisphere, but it's not going to go anywhere. I think we actually do need to keep this around so we can draw cards. Because what happens from here? Like, let's think about this. No, I'm going to keep the Astrologian Planisphere because I potentially have Force Negation and yeah, Astrologian Planisphere will get really big and then we just defend it. They haven't used any K commands, but they might. I don't know. I'm not sure if that was the right decision. So I'm going to go like this. Planisphere. They're unlikely to just naturally rip a second Ugin. They only play 2. I kind of think it's probably fine to preordain here. I'm going to bin the second Planisphere. I'm also going to bin this. Like, I'm looking for cantrips like Brainstorms and stuff. That's not a good card, but I'll play it out so now I have duplicated consign. And we'll just pass. They're not going to attack in because they would lose this, and I would happily trade this for this at this point. Okay, my opponent is not doing anything, I don't think. They played an Ancient Tomb for a turn, which doesn't matter. It's a dead draw because they already have tons of mana. At this point, I wouldn't mind putting this back if I did find a Brainstorm. I'm going to try to find a Brainstorm. Oh, that sucks. I'm not going to play that out. I'm going to go ahead and attack in. I don't anticipate them trading here. Okay, we'll pass. Like, their life total is going to be more important than mine in terms of... Okay, what is this? They actually don't have enough artifacts to tap for a lot of mana here. Okay, interesting. Karn the Great Creator. So they get a trigger. And then this is a force. I'll hold the consign for later. Also, force negation. Yeah. Force negation can't be cast during my turn for free. This grows this. That's nice. Okay, so they're hellbent again. They can attack for 2. Which might make sense if they're not going to be able to do anything. I also am worried about my clock. Come on, Brainstorm. All right. This is so cracked. Check this out. Boom, she's going to grow substantially. We got a Storm Chaser's Talent in the house. I'm going to put back this land. I think I do play out the Storm Chaser's Talent. I don't know. It's pretty meh. The Force Negation is probably more important. Storm Chaser talent, they probably don't get to attack us anymore. I'm going to try to find a Merc. So let's shuffle this. I mean, Storm Chaser talent, technically we could use it twice. So maybe that was a mistake to put it back. Okay, we found the Merc. This is what we're going to be doing. And then we're going to hope that Force Negation... Like, I don't want to pitch the Force Negation, but I also don't want to give them, like, forever to win the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blue, blue. If they happen to rip exactly, the Ugin will lose. Because I tapped greedily. Not that I had a choice. I had to use all that blue mana. Okay. So we'll pass. We have to force if they draw some bomb, unfortunately, and we lose our consign, which will be a true bummer. That's not a bomb. That's fine. So they are going to keep putting these things on the table that make it to where we can't win. I'm basically just playing against the clock now, so I'm going to go ahead and go in for an attack here with both. Not worried about my life total. They're going to chump with one, and they're going to take a bunch of damage. And we'll pass the next turn. Urza Saga doesn't do it. Nothing does it here. That's fine. Yeah, they've lost. But we still have to win the final game. And we have 7 minutes. So they're 14. Okay. So, no changes. I mean, Piracy Charm doesn't kill anything in the deck, but it could be good. Because a lot of times you get them to Hellbent and you can just instant speed, make them discard the card before they can cast it. But I can't think of what would make sense to cut for that. I think I keep Tamio, even though, as I said, she's structurally not good in this matchup. I think I can cut an island on the draw and bring in a Daze. It doesn't make sense to do that. Bring in a Dismember. I think I bring in a single Dismember. Again, like, we're drawing a lot of lands, and we may get a no-lander, and then if we get a no-lander with Dismember, then I'll be anti-vindicated, whatever that term is. I'll be pwned by myself. This is fine. It's not a great hand. I'm going to keep it. The Wasteland is good against Urza Saga strategies. If they lead Urza Saga, I'm just going to waste it. Monolith is fine. I'm not going to go after it. The key is scary, but I'm not going to go after mana here. Okay. What's your big... This is what I was talking about. Turn 1 One Ring. It's terrifying. Turn 1 Karn is also terrifying. Let's go ahead and pitch a Brainstorm, sadly. All right, I'm going to get on the table with Storm Chaser. Okay, another Force. So Force pitch Force next turn. We need Boomerang Basics to be in this game, but we have 4 of them. They have insane mana production. I could have wasted that. If they don't play a second land, I will waste it, but I think most likely they do have a second land. Oh, they do. So it would have been an error to waste it. And again, they just have arbitrarily large volumes of mana here. This is the freaking Ugin on turn 2. Luckily, it doesn't have any good targets, but it is still a 2-for-1. All right. They're down to 1 card. What are the odds that they don't draw a huge bomb before I kill them? Very low. Okay, Consign's a great rip. Sadly, I don't think it's correct to waste. I'm just going to hold this because this does allow eventually for us to Storm Chaser talent Act 2. Yeah, they have so much mana that it would have been a mistake. Okay. And what is this? Another crazy card, huh? Well, I'm gonna just consign it. This is our last card. And then they can, use key to untap the thing. They have tapped low. Sadly, I do think we play this out and we just chill and we hope. Like, this is the nature of this matchup, is they just draw bombs and you can't answer them eventually. Okay, what do you have? Oh, thank goodness. Okay. And I want to put this back pretty badly, but at the same time, if I draw 1 more land, yeah. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and immediately get back a consign. You're on notice. I've got a consign in my hand. This card's so good. All right, and I need you to break again, and then maybe I can start doing stuff. 3 mana in the pool. Uh-oh. Is this a giant K command? You're only going to K command for 8? You sure you don't want to do more? Come on, go on up to 10. What the hell? You only live once. Who cares? It's only men's fashion. Okay, so I force. We're both hellbent, but they have infinite mana, basically. I've used my only ammo on the table. I'm not going to waste this. Gosh. I want to play it out because I might be able to hit level 6. I've never hit level 6 before. I think we're totally screwed. This deck should not exist that my opponent's playing. They have something. Okay, yeah, that's annoying. It's not death. It's just more mana. I'm going to keep this untapped. All right, Tommy is something. If we can find Merc, we can still win. Planar Nexus, just more mana. Yeah, I mean, they can untap their monolith. Okay. They don't have good attacks. We've still got 5 minutes, 50 seconds. I think the game will be decided before then. I dare say. We can regrow a force and get a dude. I think I'm going to do that. I can't regrow Consign because I unfortunately had to pitch cast it because they had the K command a turn earlier than I wanted them to. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. So I get a dude. I'll get Force Negation here. Oh, it doesn't matter. I can't cast it. Yeah, I should probably just get the Force Negation anyway, though, because I can hold it up. And all their spells that I really care about are... Right, yeah, I'll get the Force Negation. I mean, I could get burned, but I'm never going to... Like, it's realistic that I could crack clues and use this. It's not realistic that I'm going to be able to... Come on, don't... Just brick for a turn, please. Okay, that's a brick. Yeah, and that's a great thing about their deck is like we say drawing the wrong half of your deck, like with like Jeskai control and stuff. I mean, this allows me to go all the way up, but it's inadvisable. I can only do it as a sorcery. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to. I think I'm gonna flip Tommy here. Okay, let's go ahead and draw a card. Okay, Consign's great. I think we might be able to win now. Okay, double Consign. You're telling me there's a chance. Let's plus. We'll pass. Double Consign up. So we can consign the remaining Ugin if they find it. We can counter anything. And then we don't need to use our mana anymore. If we draw another island, I will level 6 one of these. Okay, I'm going to counter both the spell and the trigger. Okay, we did that right. It took me a while to learn how to do that on MTGO. They don't have good attacks. Okay. Plus, deploy another Storm Chaser talent. I'm going to attack. Shouldn't change anything. 3 minutes on the clock. That's fine. That is a cantrip. I'm not going to counter that. I guess countering it... Yeah, they're just going to draw another card. Doesn't matter. Get rid of my Consign. They crack. Okay, they untap. What's this spell? 6 mana, 7 mana. Okay, you got it? All right. Well, I will counter all 3 of those triggers. Cast with Replicate. I'll counter this trigger. I'll go up to 2. Okay, this should work. So they scooped. We got it. We beat the top deck, the undisputed top deck, in my opinion. It is definitely the best deck in Legacy. It won the World Championships. We beat it with our like $400, $500, Boomerang Basics deck. Let's go to the final round. We are 3-1. I'm liking this deck. This is a great deck. Like, I was 1 land away from Storm Chaser talent and just putting tons of those otters on the table. The happiest otters of all time. Final round, we're up against a Yorian gamer, most likely on like some sort of Esper variant. Hunting Jorgensen, which is named after a magic card. I don't believe this is his actual name. Carries the torch for Esper Vial long after I've abandoned it. Just because nobody wants to watch Esper Vial leagues where I make like literally hundreds of decisions in a single match. Okay. So we got a good opener. So we're going to Storm Chaser. We're going to pass. Wasteland's good against their deck. It's a greedy, multicolored pile, usually. Unless they're just playing Death and Taxes, which is possible. But they've generally been, like I said, carrying the torch for us for a while. I can always just boomerang a Vial back to their hand if I need to. I think this is just a Wasteland. See what they do here. They're probably like, I don't think they're going to do anything. If they want to kill one of these, that's fine with me. So I did recently build a 2-color version of Esper Vial. It's just blue-white, but I got destroyed, unfortunately. It wasn't I don't think it's strong enough yet. Okay, they let that go. Now I will Boomerang Basics, this. Draw a card. I think it's more important to disrupt their lands. And we drew a force, which is nice. I don't think it's going to be too important. Like if they have exactly Vial, which they wouldn't play, they would have played. My opponent said, this looks sick. Thank you. I'm very proud of this combo that I discovered. I think I'm the first person, like nobody mentioned it to me or anything like that. I just saw, I'd never seen this card. And then I saw like the Epic Storm, which I love that channel. Even though I'm not a degen, I indulge in my degen, kind of like, I guess what a degen would do. I indulge. And the way I indulge is by watching somebody else do the degen things. So I don't have to figure out those lines myself. But he had like a list. He showed me Boomerang Basics, and I was like, wow, that's a really aggressively costed cantrip effect. And it's very versatile. So we're about to cast Storm Chaser for the 3rd time here. They're going to fetch. If they have a Spell Pierce, I'll daze. I do want my card, and I do want my 3rd Otter. Oh, are they going to plow here? I'm fine with that. Yeah, that's fine. That's a good deal. I don't care about hitting them. I care about value and against their deck. Okay, and now we pass. We've got Pitch Force. I can waste them next turn. Now that they've fetched, that is vulnerable. But I would like to waste them on blue. They're probably going to grab a basic here. Basic Island. Yeah. Baleful Strix is value. Let's interrupt that value, shall we? And leverage the fact that we're a Daze deck. Okay. So I think this is a very simple turn. I'm going to go ahead and Storm Chaser. Yeah, I'm going to waste first. It doesn't really matter. Like they could Daze. I doubt they have Daze. They would have Dazed back earlier. And then we'll hit for 2. And we are doing the true tempo thing. Like this is what tempo is all about. True Tempo also being a channel that you can watch on YouTube here. The guy's pretty good. I like the cut of his jib. But I wasn't referencing him. I was just saying this is a true tempo deck. And like the way we're playing it is very tempo-y. Okay, they grab another one. This might be another Baleful Strix, which I will once again daze. All right, I am denying them value while I am amassing my value. I've denied them an entire color of their 3-color deck. Come on, cantrip. Oh, I will take it. This is crazy, by the way. This is a great way to end the league. Like, I probably will lose this match, but I'm having so much fun. We've denied them. Like, they really need to expand their resources. Brainstorm's fine. That is a usage of a mana, is how I look at that. They're seriously under the gun. Any spell, and I think we basically have it. This is probably just getting planes. If it gets Felia, I will cut Felia to pieces, to ribbons. I'm not going to bother playing Tommy. She doesn't really help my initiative here. I think the game won't go long enough. I'd rather stop 2 spells that they try to do. Okay, so we hit them for 3, and we're just going to chill. Again, tactical decision, I think it's better to hold the Tomio as a force pitch. Even though she's arguably the most powerful card in Legacy. Okay, they're surveilling. If they Felia, I'll just kill her. Okay, they actually had the audacity to fetch a non-basic. So if I can find, maybe it's just so late in the game that they're just like, I need to surveil. If they try to do anything on my turn, they turn on, wow. Yeah, they can't play that out untapped. Okay. So if they try to interact here, they're super dead. They need like a Engineered Plague plus like double force. I think Felia resolves and then I dismember it. Buffs the Otters. Slaughter! Absolute slaughter. Solitude. I'll just force it. Pitching my Tommy. Get some more prowess triggers. Yep, good game. This is tempo. This is the closest thing I've ever seen to a mono blue tempo list other than like the Blue Delver, which is not very good, frankly. If INF was one of the best tempo players ever, can't make mono blue tempo work reliably. I was gonna say if they can't make it work, then I think that you need to look for something more extreme, like putting a ton of otters on the table. This is a piracy charm matchup. They have creatures, and also Island Walk is relevant. Dismember is really relevant too. I don't think we are going to rely on Daze. We dazed them like 3 times there. They're going to play around it. They're a very skilled, grindy gamer. You know, I'm going to keep a Daze, and I'm going to take out an island. I mean, if I take out the island, then I definitely don't have Storm Chaser ultimate. I could take out a fetch. I don't hate that. It feels bad to like have fewer fetches, but I do think that there could be a situation where I do need the Storm Chaser ultimate. Let's do it. This has been a beautiful league. All right. And I almost never beat this player. So if I beat it, it's going to be the Sherry on the top. Because they're extremely skilled at this archetype that they play like basically constantly. I'm a fair weather gamer. Like I'm constantly switching to different things. This is a keep. Like every card matters. Even though we're not doing anything powerful, they are like a critical turn 3, critical turn 4 deck. So we can afford to not do anything powerful. If they fetch a basic here, I'll be impressed. They do, and they have the Vial. I can't interact. This is going to bury us. We could Boomerang Basics back into hand, but I think we're probably just going to lose this one. I'm going to preordain. Like when it gets high, when it's about to like Piracy Charm is, I don't really think this is where we want to be. I am looking for exactly the otter thing. Okay, that's not bad. We have 1 turn to cast it before Bowmaster is going to rain on our parade. So here, this is probably going to produce a Tamio, if anything. They usually only play 2 drops and beyond. Brainstorm's fine. They're going to get a perfect Brainstorm. Again, like they're not a Days Wasteland deck. They're trying to make the game go long. So we do need to pressure them. But I think a big Merc might be able to do it. They do have 8 exile-based removal spells between the Solitudes and everything. I mean, I'm sad to say this, but I think that ship has sailed. They have basics out. I just need to kill them. Force might be helpful. It's probably not. I'm going to go ahead and fetch before I preordain here. I could have brainstormed actually there. Okay, this is what we're talking about. I'll top this because it's actually pretty good. Cantrips are great once you've got one of these on the table, but we're going to need more than one of these. But technically we have as many of these as we need because we have the Boomerang Basics. All right. And we are tapped out. Like if they've just Vial in something, we can't interact on the stack. If they Vial in a Bowmaster, we just lose the dude and we probably lose the game. Okay, this is Bowmaster, unfortunately. Yep. Do we know what's on top? Yeah, I put a Brainstorm on there. I can Bowmaster this, or I can bounce this back to hand, but they can redeploy. I'm just going to concede from here. I don't think we have any prospect of winning. This card just solos us. Okay, so Daisies come back in, and we're going to go back into full tempo mode, because really that's all we can do. I will keep the Piracy Charms in. Tamio is potentially good. It's worth noting they do play Caracas. With the forces, without... I kind of want to keep the land out. It might screw me. Are there any cards that are just obviously bad against them? I mean, filling up the graveyard with Preordain, I think, can do a lot. But it is yet another cantrip card against a deck that is filled with cards that... Well, it's got 4 Bowmasters and 80 cards, but they are going to be prioritizing keeping those. They may even mulligan to them, especially now that they saw how powerful it was. And maybe I should have played it out, even though I was like basically 0% to win that game, just so they didn't realize how powerful the Bowmaster is. Because now they're going to absolutely prioritize him. I am also thinking about bringing in a 4th Piracy Charm, just because it has overperformed for me. And we could take out a Force, and then we have 4 clean substitutions every round. We take out our weakest card, and then we bring in 4. I think I could actually cut a Force, but Yeah, I think I'm actually going to cut the force. Is that correct? We have the answer to the actual creature, but the ping is potentially backbreaking, especially if it's coming off of a Vial. The fact that they had double Vial vindicated me not dealing with Vial, like trying to tempo them with, and we didn't have any offensive anyway, so it didn't really matter. I mean, if we're really going balls to the wall, Force of Will might actually be worth playing. But Daze is so much better. I'll cut. Okay, I'm just going to do the lazy thing and split the difference. I cut one preordain, one force, one land. Submit. Can we get the 4-1? We got a 4-1. I don't want to spoil it. Never mind. It all comes down to this game. And I do believe that if I keep grinding on this deck, I will trophy within the next week or two. And I am tempted to because I'm having so much fun with it. So this is a land-heavy hand. If we find a Brainstorm, that's not a problem. I'm going to keep this on the strength of Daze and Storm Chaser. They keep. Again, we should presume that their keeps involve Bowmasters. They should be able to discern that that is a very key card. I will Daze a Vial here for sure. But then I'm out of ammo, essentially. And I've got way too many lands in my hand. Okay, they didn't have a Vial. That's step one. Wasteland is a good card. Yeah, I'm going to fetch before I ponder. And this reduces the total number of lands in the deck ever so slightly, as I've said many times. So let's ponder. Boomerang Basics would be great if we can find it. They could Spell Pierce here. That is a card that they often play because they're not able to play Daze. I mean, these are good cards for sure. I think I just keep this. I probably just preordain and hit them. Just draw through it and get another card in my graveyard. I'll put the Dismember at the bottom in case I want to shuffle it away. But I'm not going to. Actually, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to draw it deterministically. So I'm not seeing any new cards, but my new cards are fine. So I'll just leave them. I'll take the Dismember first because if they, for some crazy reason, brought in Surgical, I don't want my Ponders Surgical. That would be really embarrassing to lose 3 cards. Of course, they could do that upkeep, which would suck. All right, we're coming in for 3 damage. So far, we've dodged lands, and I'm hoping to just dodge lands for the rest of the game. If I can find a Brainstorm to put the land back, that's even better. Okay. Getting a perfect Brainstorm, that's fine with me. Again, plow, anything is like basically going up a card here. Fetching. Get a non-basic, please. Okay, they're too disciplined. Okay, and there's the Vial. I mean, it's a Daze, frankly. It's just too good. Like, it will come up later on in the game, and I can't interact anymore. They didn't force to protect it. Okay. Now we ponder. I'll play the land out first, just in case they, I don't know what they would do, but I am going to play the land anyway. This is an easy shuffle. Dodge those lands. I don't need the Planisphere. I've already got a win con on the table. I don't have a way to shuffle. Okay, Boomerang Basics. Here we go. We're unprotected if they have the Bowmaster next turn. It will kill this, but I'm feeling good. We drew Tomio. That's great. We've got lots of stuff to do next turn. They're at 13. I'll just straight up dismember that like really anything they put in my way. I'm hoping they don't have a Bowmaster though, because that'll be really annoying. They may, yeah, they've got all their basics. Here's the Bowmaster. Oh, Recruiter. Okay, well, this is going to go get Bowmaster, unfortunately. I feel very confident of that fact. It's not a fact yet, but I feel confident of that assertion. Plague Engineer. Okay. All right, I see how it is. Well, Force of Will is going to stop Plague Engineer. So I have a few options. I think first, I want a Storm Chaser talent. That needs to happen. I am going to play at the island. There's no point in playing at the Wasteland, I don't think. I'm going to use all this blue. I don't think they're going to block. It's entirely possible that they have Force for my Force. So I would like to find a Daze as well, even though it's pretty late in the game to be casting Daze. Yeah, I'm going to ponder. I need to find a blue card for sure. Dismembers are fine against their deck, actually. But there is a serious risk that I draw a land, but I don't want this many Dismembers. Okay, another Storm Chaser's talent. I can't play that because I need, at the very least, I can dismember and kill the Plague Engineer if they are able to resolve it. And then I can Storm Chaser talent. This is fine. I'm happy about this trade because that represents material for... okay, so here's what I think I need to do. I think I Tommy, and then I just force pitch Storm Chaser talent. I'm too concentrated in Storm Chaser talent. Next turn, I can use the ability to regrow, like a force, because I might draw a blue card, and then I can stop another thing. If they have Spell Pierce, it's a blowout, but I have to try. They're fetching. I think they have Spell Pierce, unfortunately. And this is where the game starts to fall apart for us. Oh, wait, what is this? Oh, plow? Yeah, that's fine. All right. So we get the prowess triggers. We lost that, but does this work? Okay, that's great. Now, if they have pre-war Formaware or something like that, that becomes a problem. I am going to waste this land. Am I? I might need to just keep applying pressure. Murktide certainly applies pressure here. I think I waste, I attack, and then I Murk. Yeah, I just need to reduce their mana. And I still have Dismember up, which is nice because I can clear the path if they find like a Strix. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am going to make a full-size boy, and I'm going to leave both Boomerang Basics and Force in the graveyard. So depending on what I draw next turn, well, if I draw a land, I can get it back, but yeah. Okay. We were so lucky they didn't have the Strix. They could potentially have 2 Strix here. Okay, this is 3 mana. What is this? They're putting Yorion to hand. They have a Solitude. They're going to use Solitude here. They should do it now. Yeah. Okay. I mean, they're staying alive, but that is a pretty big value. Now we don't have to worry about Yorion coming through later. And the best thing we can do is just draw a land so we can activate Storm Chaser talent and get Boomerang Basics back, or just draw Boomerang Basics would be fine. I mean, that's a good card. They're basically dead on board. I can kill a attacker. If I get another land, I've got 2 regrowths. They have to crack that land, so they drop to dead on board, basically. Well, not totally dead on board, but I'm very hyped about this Dismember potentially stopping something. I'm worried that they'll have a 2-for-1 creature, though, and it won't be enough. They could potentially search for a Solitude here. They're going to Surveil. If they find another land, they could Solitude. They ban a land, so they don't have Solitude. That fetch puts them to dead. What is this? Skyclave. All right, I'll get the creature now, so it'll be hasty. Okay, interesting decision. All right, we're going to go to the end step, and I'm just going to Dismember. And then they're dead on board. And I could have done this during their turn to buff these. Maybe that was a mistake. They said GG's. I wanted the creature as well. Just, it's a 1-1. I mean, it would have been enough. GG's hunting Jorgensen. I'm sorry, I have no idea how to pronounce the name. That's a 4-1. Okay, so I said earlier I was going to ruin it. I'm going to presume you watched the previous one, but if you haven't, go watch it. It also is a 4-1. So I'm 8 out of 10, losing only to Moonstompy in a very, a match which, frankly, I punted. I didn't do a good job in that match. Wow, this Astrologian Planisphere definitely came up less frequently here. And frankly, it's an expensive card. I mean, 2 mana is a fortune in Legacy. And I hope you're seeing that. Like how Storm Chaser talent is the real freaking deal. I would love to find some other cards that would fit in here. It's possible that this is not necessary and we should just be playing Brazen Borrower or something like that. This is another great card. You could play this with Delver. Okay, I'm going to create a version with Delver. Hang on one sec. Okay, actually, now that I look at this deck, it has a very good sorcery and instant count. It's at 28, which is a normal Delver deck is 24. So your Delvers are much more likely to flip. Also, Delver can be bounced back to hand, but then you can just redeploy it. Whereas if you bounce that token back, it's pretty bad. I mean, Boomerang Basics is so good with Storm Chaser talent. Maybe that's just enough. Boomerang Basics does suck if you don't draw the Storm Chaser talent. So I think the next league, I am going to try this. I underestimated the total number of instances of sorceries. So the big thing, if you're building Delver style decks, like with literal Delver in them, is you need to have at least 24, but preferably 25, 26, and 28 is exceptional. And, I mean, like, if there's ever been a time when I've thought about going down to 17 lands, it's probably here, because like, if we sort by mana value, check this out. So these are free spells. These are 1-drops effectively. 32 1-drops. 32. We bring these over here. Like the only thing that costs 2 mana is the Merc. We cut a land. Go down to 5 lands. Now I realize that that means we need to have a Wasteland to use the ultimate, but I never use the ultimate in 2 leagues of playing this deck. Again, like I didn't do any warm-up leagues. This is not like, oh, I scrubbed out of a league and now I'm going to do it. No, like I literally just fired into this deck with no preparation whatsoever. And like maybe this idea will work. And I just double 4-1 against really good decks, against really good players like Hunting Jorgensen, right? So I do have a lot of confidence in this deck. In fact, I'm going to buy these cards on my own personal account so I can start winning takes when I start winning. The only expensive card on MTGO is Storm Chaser Talent. I think everything else is here, other than like, of course, like Force and stuff might cost, and Tamio. But like those you can use in every deck. But Storm Chaser Talent is, I think it's like 5 or 6 takes. So let's talk about how this would work. Like literally everything is a 1-drop. And we have room for 1 additional spell if we cut that land. Yeah, and then we can play all 4 Delvers. I think this is the list. I've never played a 17 land deck to success. One of the ninja decks that I slaughtered in the previous round is a 17 land deck. Let me show you what their deck looks like. So everybody plays the same exact mana base for the most part. Like not everybody, but like Prismatic Vistas. Okay, they are playing 18 if you include the MDFC, right? But they're still playing non-basics. This is from like this month. And I played against somebody the other day that was basically playing this like Prismatic Vistas. And the idea is you just have tons of basics, so you don't need as much land. But in my experience, when you're playing like 3-drops and 4-drops, like you probably do want to play closer to like 19 land. And in my blue-black tempo, or my blue-black control list that doesn't have days in it, but it does have like lots of Baragoyfs and ninjas and stuff, the no reserve list version, I played 19. And I think that going down to 17 and playing back to basics main deck, when you have this, like this is really greedy. But it used to be even greedier with 17. It didn't have the MDFC in it. When I say MDFC, I mean the Sink into Stupor. So yeah, we can take a look at a few others. This is one from the DMV Invitational. The player had to qualify for this. I've never heard of Rite of Passage. What's this? This is cool. I like the art. Rite of Passage. Enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, if its power is 2 or less, it's unblockable this turn. Wow, that's pretty good. But it's an enchant creature. I mean, that sucks because they just remove and then you lose both the cards. It's very easy to 2-for-1 somebody with like a Fatal Push or something when they're trying to play an aura spell, which is why there are literally 0 auras played in Legacy other than I think just the Leyline Binding is it, right? So yeah, and this is basically exactly, Spell Starter Spray, that's spicy. I like this deck, but it didn't do well. And then we can take a look at why are we even talking about ninjas? The whole point is I just wanted to emphasize, okay, this is a responsible mana base. They just added 2 Wastelands. This is the cheap Wasteland. It's like $10. It looks like a movie poster, but it's a Wasteland. You can legally play it if you're looking for a cheap Wasteland, by the way. And then, yeah. So more responsible mana base here. But if we were to be really irresponsible and just assume like we're going to play like basically a Death and Taxes deck, where if they have Chalice, we just lose. But I have beaten Chalice decks by forcing the Chalice or being on the play and dazing the Chalice. And certainly post-board, you bring in your consigns against the Chalice deck. But the beauty of this deck is you can cast literally everything except Dismember. So if you absolutely need to have Storm, with Death Shadow, you can actually cast Dismember on your Death Shadow, and sometimes it'll make it bigger. That is a trick you can do to pay life, or you can dismember one of your other creatures like your Tamio to get the final damage. But we're not going to be able to do that sort of stuff. But actually, I guess we could dismember a Tamio if we were about to kill them. But I think adding Delver of Secrets is going to make the deck even better. That's my prediction. We'll see. But I will say that like this Boomerang Basics, huge unlock for Legacy. Huge unlock. This is a huge card. It just immediately struck me as extremely powerful. And I think this could become a legacy staple. And I also love the art. Like, why is that boomerang super bladed? Like, what kind of sadist designed this thing? I guess it's a weapon, but like, I hope you catch it right. My goodness. Like, do you really need, like, here's knocking the guy in the helmet. It's like cutting into him. I don't know. I don't know about the art, but I don't know about Avatar. All right, buddy. Don't fail me now. I love it. All right. So this has been a blast. Let me get the deck that we actually played here on the thing again so you can see it. There we go. Yeah. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.